Alright, now I said I'd do it. I said I'd go through all of the gear that I am getting rid of now that I'm minimizing all of my different things I have, and so that's what we're doing. It was supposed to be 18, cup 18, but I got all this new coffee stuff, so I wanted to showcase that. We're gonna get the water boiling, and I don't have to hand grind anymore, so I'm just gonna dose out my 20 grams of coffee. The Guji, we're still going with that today. I'm dosing out my 20 grams, but today is just all of the controllers that I was somehow able to get. Some of them I have already given away, and so the counted controllers that I did, the 30 plus controllers, I have a running list of all the gear I have just so that I can keep track of it, and I didn't update it, so I was wrong. I have given away a great deal of stuff, and some is repeated controllers as well. So we're gonna go with 20 grams in, and we'll grind that here in a second. I also am going to change the format. You are gonna get some cuts. Yes, we are going to start adding back in a couple little cuts here and there, but that is only because I'm gonna be going underneath my desk because all of this stuff is down there. In fact, here's a bunch of stuff in here, which I'll just keep right yonder. I am in the process of shedding, getting rid of as much stuff as I don't need. I don't want a bunch of things, and I don't use a bunch of things. So, in order to do that, I took inventory. Let's start with the first controller, shall we? This, the Hori GameCube controller. This controller I remember purchasing because it had Nintendo stuff, and it was seemingly a limited edition controller, and I was like, I gotta get it. I have used it nonce, and that is how you combine the word none or not and once. Nonce. This has never seen a gaming session. I thought, oh, it's gonna be my go-to controller for, yeah, Super Smash Brothers. Turns out the Pro Controller does just fine. So I never needed to actually use that controller. And I actually never did use that controller. Today we're changing the brew style. We're changing it to the Kalita Wave, a flat bottom, because Fellow, the very company that I'm using to make this coffee, their grinder, they actually have their own brew method. And it is indeed a flat bottom brew method. And so I figured, hey, let's give them a crack. Let's do a flat bottom from the tried and true Kalita Wave. I like the Kalita Wave. The reason why I don't use Fellow's brew method is because Kalita I already own. It's a flat bottom. It's fine. I have all their filters. I don't know, and I don't think that Fellow's are universal. I think they're proprietary, their filters at least, and I don't want to buy another filter. So I'm not gonna buy another filter. I think we're drained out. We are indeed drained out. I also don't have my other cup because I wasn't really paying attention when the dishwasher was being loaded, and therefore my normal beautiful cup is in use. So let's go ahead and in we go. What a sound. I'm not having a hand grind. There's nothing against hand grinding. I think hand grinding's fine, but I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty nice not having to do so. Okay, good. No, also, I never talked about it in Cup 18, but there is a static electricity limiter or static limiter, which an ionizer, I believe is what it's called. Essentially what it does is it makes it so that there's very, very little mess. There's a couple little grinds here and there, but there's almost no mess at all. So this thing is pretty mess free. All right, let's get the brew bed nice and clean. I don't need to use a stir stick, not for a flat bottom, and we're going to pour in some. There we go. We'll let that do its thing. We're gonna continue down the train and continue down the GameCube whatever path, because I have two more controllers to show you. This is the Doyoki GameCube style Joy-Cons, of which I've talked about. A very, very good GameCube style Joy-Con. I think that it works fine. The actual thumbsticks are removable, so you can switch them out. And at one point, well, I think I'm still considered an affiliate with them. I was able to basically provide you with a link that allowed me to make a couple bucks off of this, your purchase with this. And so, yeah, that was something that was pretty exciting for me. I was like, yeah, I can finally make some money. I don't use it. I used it at first, I thought it was cool, but I don't use it at all. Since then, it has rumble, it has gyro support, is flush with your Switch, it has a little center thing, and it actually functions really well as a normal standalone controller, but don't use it. Another GameCube style controller, because GameCube is like, everyone's on GameCube, dude. They think that this is like the retro thing when Game Boy, dude. Game Boy, or better yet, Super Nintendo is really where the retro stuff happens. All right, let's continue on with our pour. I think we're just one more pour away. No, 2 more pours. Get to 220, and we'll finish off with 300. Okay, so this is the Nixie Wizard, which I think is the better built. Listen to this. That's the trigger. It's awesome. They don't have removable thumbsticks, but what you can do is you can change out the rings to have the hexagonal, angular, whatever, little notches or no notches. Notches? No notches. Everything about it feels great. The only thing I really complained about was the form factor, well, 2, and these back little finger things. These back here, no good. They don't, your hand doesn't rest in a natural position for this, therefore you never end up hitting the back buttons like you want to. And so you end up getting to a point where you have to arch your fingers, like so, just to make it happen, and it doesn't happen. It's uncomfortable. But I think as far as any of them are concerned, this one actually feels and looks the most robust. That's 3 out of my 4 GameCube style things. And this one I'm actually not getting rid of because my wife uses it. She likes it. This is, I believe, the Retro Flag handheld controller. It's a GameCube style controller, but it actually feels really good. And for all the sleds that exist right now, I believe that this is the most comfortable one. Has everything you need from thumbstick, not thumbstick, from vibration, why am I saying it that way? Rumble vibration, that's like back in the day. Rumble, and it does also have gyro, does not have amiibo. None of these controllers have amiibo, but anyway, this is a great little thing, but I don't use it. My wife does, so she gets to use this. And I've had it docked here for a while, and it looks like it's dead. Cool, because they do drain the battery. No matter which way you slice it, you're draining your battery. Since I took that one, let's go to a couple others. I'm gonna pull this off right now, and we have ourselves our good, wonderful coffee. Ooh. Let's pour some off right here. Good. Let's use that as a coaster, and we're good. Let's let that cool off, and we should be good. Let's look at some more things. The Nixie Hyperion, a great thumbstick, not thumbstick, Joy-Con replacement. I think that as far as a middle part's concerned, this ends up being really big. This feels really good. I don't like the RGB, because RGB is for children, not for full-grown adults. Shots fired. I stand on that. I'll die on that mountain. I'm not an RGB fan, and so I didn't love it. But the back buttons feel great. They're in the right spot. It's bulky and beefy, so it feels really good when you have this on your Switch. But if you can see, there is a little bit of a wedge here, and that is about the thickness, the centerpiece is about the thickness of your Switch. So when you're using this, you do have this extra thing here. This clicks onto your Switch fine, the D-pad feels fine, everything feels fine. I don't use it. It's too big, too bulky, and it doesn't look as good as a Nintendo Switch does by itself. So this got the good old-fashioned drawer treatment. Now, if we're looking underneath too, they are individually charged. Same with the Nixie Wizards, individually charged. Lame, dude. Center charged. Or also you can charge them on your Switch itself, but no, that's lame. I think that's silly. They should be charged by this little piece of plastic here. But that just means, I guess, manufacturing is different. I don't know. I'm not super up to snuff with everything, but this guy, I haven't used it in forever, and at first I thought, man, I really like it and I need it, and now I don't, because This has no rumble. This is the Hori non-powered little Joy-Con, D-pad Joy-Con. It works fine. It's not that precise though. You get a D-pad out of it, but you know what's the most precise D-pad that exists on the market? The Nintendo Switch Joy-Con D-pad, because up, down, left, right are just buttons. You can't miss a down button. You can't miss a left or right button. Now, is it the most comfortable D-pad? Absolutely not. It's no fun to use, but it is, by and large, certainly the most accurate. Let's try another one. It's too hot, so I not. There it is. Bam, dude. That's so good. Oh, it's so clean. Anyway, this guy, I'm not sure what is gonna happen, but it's not in use. Hasn't been in use for a long time. This is my second. This one was given to me, sent to me by 8-Bit Dough. This is my second 8-Bit Dough Pro 2. This one was for free. I thought it was a cool color. I also had the green one, gave that away to my brother. I only need one, so I'm keeping the one that of course looks like the Game Boy. This is my second one. Don't need two. Why would I need two? I don't need two. This is not mine. This is my daughter's. I will be keeping it because she uses it. I think this is a really great controller for kids because it's flat, it's easy and simple. The shoulder button got stuck. I don't know if that was her fault or a manufacturer thing. I cracked off the back, cleaned it all out. We're good as new. She plays Super Mario Wonder on the TV with this and can't believe that she's playing Super Mario Wonder on the TV. So this is her little pink controller, as she calls it. And that one I'm actually keeping. Now, here is something that I don't know what to do about because I have 5. Well, 4. One of them is already spoken for. But I have 2 of these and then 2 more. 2 OEM normal, everyday PlayStation 5 controllers. And then 2 more PlayStation 5 controllers that I use that are designed by Hex Gaming. And then also a third one that I'm giving away to my brother, or not my brother, my best friend Chase. What will I do with these? These I actually forgot I had, but these I actually won't get rid of. These will stay in a box because when I eventually sell my PlayStation 5, it's gonna be a lot harder to sell the PlayStation 5 when I upgrade or whatever and get a with the other controllers, and these are actually gonna be a better deal. So whenever I sell the PlayStation 5, these 2 will be going with that PlayStation 5. So I am keeping these. Now, what are these little guys? These I am not selling because I don't need to. They're so tiny. These are 8-Bit Dough's these are little adapters. One of them is the 2nd generation one, I think. Or are these both the 1st generation, just different colors? These are both the 1st gen, just different colors. These basically turn any of your controllers here. Well, these are all actually Nintendo Switch controllers, come to think of it. It'll turn this controller into a controller that can be used with the Nintendo Switch. This acts as a universal Bluetooth connector, and all you gotta do is connect the 2 together, and all of a sudden, on your Nintendo Switch, you're using a PlayStation controller. Could be cool. You're not utilizing the really big features that a PlayStation controller has, which are not HD Rumble, they call it, what do they call it? I guess it's just called haptics? I don't know what their proprietary name for it is, if they have it, but you're not using that. This won't detect that it has haptics, so you're not gonna get the HD effects that you get with the Pro controller. And what's the other thing that doesn't exist on that sucker? Amiibo. I'm not sure about gyro. That's delicious. Still trying to figure out the recipes for all these. But that's good. So that's what these are. Well, I've got egg on my face. Turns out I didn't have just 2. I had 2 extras. I have 6 PlayStation controllers. I paid for 2. Well, this is going to my brother and, Chase. This is going to Chase, my friend. And I guess this I'm giving away. It's a replica of my other one, which is just trigger shots, but these have full pulls. I just didn't really end up using it, and I think the full pulls were actually affected when they switched out these triggers, or these the L2 and R2s for these new whatever they're called, these colored ones. So the adaptive triggers don't work the way that they used to, so I actually don't use this. But this one, this is one of my buddy. It's a great one. I mean, oh, I just turned on my PlayStation 5. Whoopsies! But 2 more controllers. And last, we got Old Faithful, which is supposed to be out in the living room. This is my original, very, very disgusting Nintendo Switch Pro controller, which I'm keeping because when I have 2-player, this is the other one I would want to use. This goes to my wife or my kid or whatever, or friends that come over and want to play Mario Kart, Nintendo Switch Pro. So I guess I am keeping more than I thought I was keeping. I just didn't look through this because this is literally sitting in a box underneath my desk. But also, I'm gonna have a really hard time selling this one because it's in really bad shape. Shakes, I mean, it's really gross. This was a launch day Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and it still works perfectly fine. So this guy actually is staying. So we got 2 more. At the end of this video, I'm gonna go through everything I'm keeping, just a sum up, not explain what they are, because that was Cup 17. Cup 19 is what I'm getting rid of, and I need some coffee. Oh, I'm in heaven. Now let's go through these, because all of these have controllers in them. This is the yes, this is the TomTalk case with the Hori split pad compacts. A great combination. Actually, an incredible combination. And huge fan of this. And this will actually, you know what? I just decided. This is a giveaway. I'm giving this away. How? When? I don't know. Here's the giveaway. I don't use this ever. I purchased it again to do a comparison video, of which I never did. And so we're giving that away. That'll be given away. This right here is the biggest disappointment in all of my gaming purchases. This is the Nitro deck. I am pretty disappointed by this because it is cool to look at and terrible to use. I did not like the implementation. I certainly didn't like the case. You can just peel off. Look, I'm gonna peel off another one. Look, they come right off. And then you got now just a line in the middle. It's just a piece of plastic, some buttons. Some people love it. I just didn't love it. So this guy, I'm not a fan of. And so the second I got it, I used it, and I was like, oh, not for me. Now, what am I gonna do with it? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Let's look at, what's this? Oh yeah, this is the Satisfy Zen Grip Ronin. This I am keeping because I do use it. I forgot about that. This I do use for prolonged gameplay, just not as much, and so I'm not ready to get rid of this. So this is another thing I'm keeping. So this will not be sold or given away. So I do use that from time to time. I think that grips are great. They feel good. They definitely make the controller feel, the Switch feel a lot better. So I am gonna end up keeping this guy. I don't know if some of these, so one of the controllers that I found out didn't work by giving it to a friend and saying keep it, is the Power A Nano. Turns out the battery's just dead. And so because it hasn't been used in God knows how long, it is, you can't power it on. So I can't speak into what's that's why I'm not selling these. I can't speak into the actual functioning power of all this stuff because I haven't actually turned them on and tried to use them. Some of this stuff is newer, like the Dayoki and the Nixies, but some of these I haven't turned on. Like this Hori one, I haven't tried turning it on. Can I press the home button? Does it try to? No, it doesn't. I don't even know if it turns on. I have another controller, hold on. So I'm also getting rid of the matching 8-bit SN30 Pro because I don't need that one, because the one I do have that I'm keeping, even though I don't really need it, is this little guy. The SN30 Pro. Here, I've decided after much deliberation that I am going to keep this one for some 2D platforming when I want to use it in this form factor. I don't need it, but I'm not ready to part with it yet. and they don't sell it anymore, so it's really hard for me to part with, and it also fits perfectly in this little case here, so I'm keeping it. I realize now that I am not getting rid of as much as I originally anticipated. I've given rid of, how many controllers do I have? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and then I had 6 more. Oh, the small, they're individual 8-bit dough ones, which I have no clue where they, oh, and I also have these, that's where the rest of them went. So now that we've talked about all the things I'm giving away, and I've actually realized that if it is in full working order, completely works fine, I am going to, it's not brand new at all. Not one bit. So I can't say that these are in great condition either. But I'm just going to be giving them away first to people that are like, I know, like, hey, I know you, do you want this? And they go, yes, so I give it to them. And then for people that I don't know, it's going to go straight to Discord. And Discord, I'm going to be like, hey, if you live in the United States, I'll ship this to you. Because I have a bunch of stuff to get rid of, and I'm going to be honest, spending $70 on shipping to, you know, a country overseas for a controller that I didn't pay for, that's not something that I'm going to do. So, let's talk about what I am keeping. Now that I have everything out, I can actually fully see it. So get rid of everything. I'm going to bring everything out to see it so that I can actually come to terms with what I've decided to keep, because this is what you do with Marie Kondo, right? So we have, I have to get rid of stuff off my desk. There's just so much here. Okay, everything's out. This is what I'm keeping. We have a Pro controller that I'm keeping because this actually technically will be paired with this combination. These two are my wife's. So this is my wife's situation right here. A Pro controller and the retro flag. Boom. Handled. Lawyered. My daughter gets this little guy because she likes it. And there's a tinier one that's just a D-pad, and I believe it's the 2 AB buttons and some shoulder buttons. That one also my daughter gets because it's her tiny pink controller, and so she gets 2 controllers. Lucky her. She plays on a Nintendo Switch Lite, so it'll only work when it's paired to mine. I am keeping this guy, my Pro controller. I love this thing, and because, honestly, I know I don't really need that one, I bring my Pro controller with me, I put it in this TomTalk case, and it's safe. So my Pro controller is safe. That's one. I'm keeping my, as I explained in Cup 17, PlayStation 5 controller that is just externally modified. It does have back buttons, but I don't use them. I just like the way this looks more than the white one, and it was free if I wasn't going to purchase this. If this wasn't free, I would have purchased the pink one for obvious reasons. Pink's my favorite color. Speaking of pink, this is my Flamingo competitive one. This is just for Fortnite and for Modern Warfare 3. That's it. That's all this is for. This has one purpose, and it's because I do like that these are short throws, so that's that. I have for my retro titles and for the 8-bit dough Ultimate software, I have this controller right here. This is the 8-bit dough Pro 2. This is, in my favorite orientation, D-pad dominant with 2 center symmetrical thumbsticks. This is my third party of choice for Nintendo Switch. I have my only Xbox controller I need, which is my Special 10K. I do have a second one that exists that is permanently in the to-go case with my X screen. So that is the other controller I'm keeping. And I have decided, because I am a silly goober, that I am going to keep the 8-bit dough controller here. Primarily because I know I can get another 8-bit dough controller by purchasing it for really, really cheap, but not this one, and I love this one so much, so I am keeping that. That is an extra one that I don't technically need, and I understand that, but I am having a hard time letting it go, and because of that, I'm going to keep it, and it's just in my to-go bag. And then finally, the controllers that are just the originals. I have my Nintendo Switch N64 controller, my technical Super Nintendo controller, which I know seems redundant with the other one, which in some ways it is, but this is just so amazing. The D-pad on this is the best D-pad in all of gaming, fight me. And then lastly, my NES controllers, which I almost will never use, and I got them just for the looks. And they're really not that expensive. So when it comes down to it, the real controllers that I am keeping and using is primarily, I guess, it's going to be 2 PlayStation 5 controllers, 1 Xbox controller, and 2, I guess 3, technically, Nintendo Switch controllers. Well, if we're really being technical, then it's 7 Nintendo Switch controllers if you are counting the dual NES controllers, but that's kind of where I'm at. And this is the best I can do right now without being like, I just feel terrible. Oh, also, the coolest, most functionally dominant, and most aesthetically pleasing as far as a desk is concerned, controller, the 8-bit DOE Ultimate Controller for Nintendo Switch. Oh, what a beast, huh? This thing is incredible. So cool. I don't use it, ever, never once. I've used it maybe a couple times, but honestly, all the functionality that this has in the form factor I want. Yes, this has a charging dock. Yes, this has a 2.4 gigahertz thing that you can do, and you can plug into your Steam Deck if you got one. I don't got one. I don't need one. I don't use a Steam Deck. I have no reason to use a Steam Deck. I don't have a PC to plug this into permanently either. So this literally stays on my desk just to look at all times. And I have forgotten the behemoth that is behind me. But the arcade stick, I consider to be a grail piece, if I'm gonna be honest with you. This thing is so cool and so fun, so I guess I am keeping that too. But this guy is gone. So that's all the controllers I have. I think that actually comes up to 30 now when I think about it. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff. I don't need any of it. I like looking at this and being like, this is all I need to use. These are all the tools. And that's what it comes down to, the tools. What tools do you need to play video games? The tools I need is the OEM controller that came with the system, or that ships first party, and maybe a couple other ones, like an arcade stick for different types of gameplay. But other than that, repeating and having 15 of one is unnecessary, and just not for me. I finished my cup of coffee. See you tomorrow. Happy gaming.